Okay, we are gonna present our CBR critical book review with the member of the group of Dora Serialita, Regita Tobing, and Isnaini Fazrin. The first step, we're gonna present our introduction. Scroll down, please. Introduction. Scroll down. Okay, for the introduction will be read by my friend Isnaini. Isnaini, time is yours.
Thank you, Dora Serialita. Okay, for introduction. Professional ethics is now acknowledged as a field of study in its own right. Much of its recent development as a result from rethink traditional medical ethics in the light of new moral problems arising out of advance in medical science and technology. Applied philosophers, ethics, and lawyers have devoted considerable energy into exploring the dilemmas emerging from the modern health care practice and their effect on the practitioner patient relationship. Beyond healthcare, other groups have begun to think critically about the kind of service they offer and about the nature of the relationship between provider and recipient. In many areas of life, social, political, and technological change have challenging both traditional ideas of practice and underlying conceptions of what professions are. Combating trends towards professionalization on the one hand, or via, for example, the proliferation of towards professionalization, uh, pro, proliferation of codes of ethics or of professional conduct, and towards challenging the power of the traditional liberal professions, or the others have recurred uh, have the recurred exploration of the concept of profession and professional. The author these volumes argues a case for viewing the profession as a moral projects and teaching and education as genius professions. He takes issue with views of teaching as simply competence based and of the teacher and as technician. In the face of modern skeptical position, she explores the moral role of the teacher and the goals of teaching. Okay, for from the ini scroll down terus ke ini lanjutnya ke bagian summary. Summary. Okay, for summary,
Okay, I'm gonna go to the summary of the book. So, for summary of the book one, in short, to the extent that teaching seems to be an immensely complex and multifaceted activity involving a wide variety of human qualities and attributes, certain well-nigh exclusive contemporary analysis of pedagogy in terms of skill and technique will appear to be dangerously and damagingly Protestant. However, although it seems far-fetched to maintain that teaching is entirely reducible to skill in the manner of a science-based technology, it would seem equally implausible to suppose that important question of skill, technique, and casual effectiveness never arise in connection with teaching, or that empirical scientific analysis of aspect of pedagogy are always inappropriate. Okay, that's just some from summary book 1. Next for summary book 2. Scroll down. Okay, summary book 2. Discussion of classroom learning environments typically focus on obvious factors such as class size and available resources. Less often discussed issues that impact on learning and student morale include the role of instructor, methods and practice regarding and maintenance of discipline and order, excuse please for missed classes, and making changes in the course after the term is underway. The ethical aspect of such methods and practice are topics of the chapter. College level students, especially recent high school graduate, can act very childishly. Such a behavior can be very annoying. Expectation of adult behavior are ethical and proper. They help ensure an appropriate learning environment. Overly severe punishment, however, are likely to have a negative impact on the classroom climate. Even though this behavior may not bother other students, reading a book for another class is irritating and demoralizing sight when one is attempting to deliver a lecture nonetheless. Serious students might develop an unfavorable perception of an instructor who does not maintain a classroom atmosphere that is scroll down please. Oh, maju dikit. Okay. That is conducive to learning. Professor Stern ducks already earn academic credit for behavior he has defined as objectionable. Stern's specific tactic cannot be supported. He could tactfully explain his expectation for proper behavior in his syllabus and orally at the first class meeting. Okay, next subject. Scroll down. Okay, element of the books will be read by Regita or Isnaini. Time is yours.
Okay, now we're getting into the element sections. The advantages. There are many advantages that this book has, such as language that easy to understand by readers, clear language topics, although this discussing something complete, but the style of language is still quite simple and easy to catch. The disadvantages basically, the contents of this book do not have significant weakness because it is based on the research and observation. It's just that unfortunately, the cover of the book only looks attractive to readers who are teenagers or adults. Also, the material discussed in this book sounds less attractive to the layman. Scroll down, Umay. Okay, the conclusion. The conclusion that can be drawn from the first book is that we look briefly at a range of issues concerning the roles of the teachers, with particular respect to issue of the interplay or the personal or private and professional or public as aspect of teachers' lives. On the face of it, teaching seems to different from many other professional and occupations insofar as the kind of person teachers is, and the way he or she inclined to life appear to have considerable implication for professional practice, not least in respect of that future ethical dimension of moral simplification, which is less conspicuous, if not entirely absent in this case of such standard profession as medicine and law. In this respect, as we saw at the outset, teaching seems to exhibit some of the features of such traditional vocation or vocations professions as religious ministry. Scroll down, Umay. Suggestion. Okay, suggestion will be read by Dora or Isma.
Okay, suggestion. These books have their own advantages in explaining how ethics are in the worlds of education, the relationship between teachers and students, and important role for all members in educational into, institu, institution such as school or universities. In fact, the presentation of the material in this book is quite complete and good to read. There are not many shortcomings. There are only a few small details such as the use of language of terms the, that are a little difficult to understand. Hopefully, they can be improved into simpler words. The data and case example are quite complete, but the search is not clear. So for understanding, you have to look for clarity on the internet. Our suggestion is to give footnotes and explanation at the end of the page and the appearance. Scroll down, please. Ke atas lagi. Of the book that is less attractive is a little boring. Maybe it can be changed to be more interesting and given an example of an interaction picture and little color that is interesting for readers later. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, that's all for our critical book review presentation. Thank you so much for your attention and watching. If there's a mistake that could be forgiveness, thank you. Okay, we are with the member of the group, Dora Serialita, Isnaini Fazrin, and Regita Tobing. We're gonna present our critical journal review about ethics in teaching. Start the introduction. Scroll down, please. Okay, introduction will be read by my friend Gita. Gita time is yours.
Okay, introduction. Ethics impact behavior and enable individuals to make the right choices. Ethics also plays a role in regulating life and acting responsibility. Teaching in a changing, diverse society has become a more complicated job than ever. Today, we live in a world where the social structure has changed. Is increasing dramatically, and technologies are constantly upgraded. Lifelong learning is not simply an ideal goal, it is actually a way to survive. When it comes to learning, there is teaching as well. Traditionally, teachers stand on the top of social hierarchy because they process knowledge and skills to deliver knowledge. However, the change of our world has also given away teachers privilege of processing knowledge. Everyone can be knowledgeable since knowledge has become the accessible. Today, the role of a teacher is no longer as same as it was decades ago. Personally, I believe that teachers encounter a lot more challenges than they did before. At school, teachers are challenged academically, professionally, and ethically. Teachers are not simply professionals to pass knowledge to students, but they also have to behave extremely professionally to avoid ethical infringements. Scroll down, please. Again, again. Okay. The summary will be read by Dora.
Okay, summary journal 1. Higher education can transmit the teacher's skill, knowledge, and attitudes to students. The education can make students functional, competent, adjusted, and creative citizens and add value for their living. Hence, the quality of higher education in the country can ensure the social, economic, cultural, and scientific development of its citizens. Some teachers in higher education today are no more the role models to students, like higher order futures, and have become more ritualistic in teaching learning environment without concern for quality. Hence, there is a scope to delineate ethics in teaching. Ethics cover what are just fair and right as well as beneficial to the society and its constituents. Applying such elements in context of teaching becomes ethics in teaching. We can next to summary journal 2. Okay, summary of journal 2. Ethics is a set of moral standards based on the common values that are accepted by a majority of the population. Ethics tell us right from wrong and how to live moral lives. Moral refers to generally accepted custom of conduct and right living in a society, and to the individual's practice in relation to this. People should be guided by ethics in their private, well done, and professional life if they accept and agree the common values in the society they live in. The teaching profession, like many others, has its own code of ethics, which describe the process of grading students and teachers' behavior in the classroom as well as outside of the school. The ethical standard for teachers based on a set of principles detail the ethical responsibilities and serve to guide ethical problems in teaching situation, but not necessary in teaching things. Traditionally, respect is considered one of the mandatory behaviors from the students to teachers. Now we know respect is crucial in teacher-student relationship. Respect should be mutual. How do teachers have respect for students? Having respect for students does not simply mean the respectful manners, which might be superficial. The real respect generates from dedication to the profession and to the work. Teachers commit to rational aspect of work what they choose to get involved in students' community, even if their students are unlikely to be part of their lives in the future. Okay, next subject. Okay, for the elements will be read by Isna. Please. Isnaini, we cannot hear you.
Okay, elements of the journals. Advantages. This journal is very interesting to read. The content is changes and clear, but explains the contents of material in detail. The words in the journal are also not too difficult to read and understand. The sources used by researchers are strong enough in a comparison. Researchers in making objects on their test instruments refer to principle in a journal. All references are in line with the bibliography. From this journal, we also learned about teachers at ethics in teaching students. Disadvantages. In our opinion, this journal does not actually have many shortcomings, but this journal still to pay attention to the choice of words so the readers can better understand this journal. The downsides are the use of the slightly difficult language to understand. Okay, for conclusion, will be Regita read.
Okay, conclusion. Ethics has a very vital and productive role in the world of education. Ethics in education helps to run the system smoothly. It sets applicable standards and protects of the interests of students and teachers. To be a better citizen, ethics must be put as a way in the education systems. Scroll down, please. Again, okay. Suggestion will be read by Dora.
Okay, for the suggestion of the journal, ethics in teaching is often neglected. There are many impacts experienced by students who are taught by the teacher. This journal explains the ethics that must be considered in teaching students, because basically the teacher is a role model for students. The discussion described in this journal is very casual but has some minor flaws. as described in the evaluation section. As a solution, we suggest that the cover be made more attractive so that many people are interested in reading these journal materials and detailed data. And research and observation must be aided and made as interesting as possible so that they can attract the interest of the general public to read. Okay, that's all our presentation about critical journal review about ethics in teaching. Thank you for your attention.